get this. Oh well. But
because like I said, it's Tiger Gwenhwyvar or Gwenhwyvar, however you say it, and now it's Ziada's.
Now it's Ziada.
Either it's Ziada's pet or it's her, cape.
Well, I was kind of hoping with the way that the story wound up that you kind of turned the bear cub into your mount when the bear got big. I really thought that would have been that truly would have set that image of Ziada just riding anywhere on this massive bear would have been
what bear cub?
So when the story ended and I gave everybody their ending sequence, there was a bear cub that...
Oh, yeah, that's right. I named it right away. Then, yeah, obviously, that, yes.
Yeah. All right, I'm sitting here, I'm like, I put a lot of time into that, and you were just like, what fucking bear cub are you talking about, man? That never happened.
I was thinking, in the story, or, my origin, because it's just, the...
No, and just the
bear.
Just the
but then, yeah. No, I mean, like I said, either that thing is my mount or my pet, or I have a bear and a tiger, because I've united the clans, or it's my cape, whatever.
Whatever. Well, so I mean, you probably may have gone back and salvaged it. It's the frozen north, and I think it was TJ who did murder it. So there's that, or Locke murdered it. But anyway,
right.
so
that's perfect. That's probably who I would want to have murdered it because less holes.
Also, it would be
funny.
It would be funny to think that Locke's owl now wears it as a cape. As it flies through the sky, but just thoughts.
Maybe so the claws.
Yeah. So things from last week. Nim named their god of sunset or twilight, Thanos. That's correct. Yes.
Yes. Where is that?
I'm taking one inspiration, Dialer from Tom. Did you mean Loki?
Yeah, I did. I totally did. I totally did. One less inspiration for myself. No.
Yeah, for tonight.
For tonight, okay.
Goes right into his pool.
Mel
died. That's so low-key. No, hold on. Mel did not die, but we'll get back to that. That's so low-key to still be jumping in to fuck with the DM.
Yeah, I never saw this.
Right.
From another dimension, from another place.
New galaxy.
Yeah. A voice calls out, "You lose inspiration." You guys.
So Mel didn't die. She's just not
sacrificed herself. Into
not in person form.
Yeah, she's not in person form, and apparently
she took on sword form.
She did. She evolved to sword form, which I didn't know was up until then I didn't know was a form.
While all of you were playing D&D, I was studying to be the blade.
You guys didn't get that book. Nope. So you guys left the Fire Forest and started on what would be a several weeks long journey to continue on to Sequin. Left the Fire Forest, traversed the path in the Tunda Mountains, worked your way to Cornerwood, where you were met by some guards that kind of challenged you at first, but then brought you to a local inn. You were able to acquire horses, realized that the cost of things in Dassen, because of the overflow of refugees coming from everywhere, has led to some crazy price gouging. You woke up the next day after you purchased your horses and really thought, which way should we go? Either the western path through the Thornwood, or follow the Tunda Mountains along the coastline. You were able to find out a couple things about this and that, about Dassen. Were there any questions, comments, concerns about Dassen that maybe I can answer that we didn't get to last week? Or are we good to kind of start along the eastern route?
No, wait. What one's that? Oh, that's the whole area.
Yeah, this is the kingdom of Dassen, yes.
Yes. I'm like, wait, was that one of the towns? No, Cornerwood. Scroll up further. No, I don't. This is just one of the, 3 areas that kind of still is in this region. Regesia being obviously the most prominent, right? It's like 3 or 4.
So there's
It's been a while
there's
since I
several,
actually read it.
yeah. So there's several king. Actually, I think maybe we can go back and look at the map. It's a good point to sort of do some recall here to say like, what the fuck is all of
Regesia
this shit?
and
Where are we?
surrounding lands, Regesia, the Shahalisti, Dasin, Ostalin, Sindare,
Where is the map?
Craggy Mountains, defended by hundreds of small dwarves, humans and dwarves,
Yep. These were all facts
cavalry
from last week.
boots. Originally known 8 lands 15 years ago. A 9th was carved out. 9 regions.
That's 2.
All right, so it's kind of just like a big spread out area. No real big kingdoms. A lot of dwarves. Definitely humans, then dwarves, then, a splattering of other races.
So one big kingdom. The map that you guys are currently on represents basically the whole of the kingdom. There's
9 regions.
Yeah, and then there's several sort of districts or fiefdoms or sort of like principalities throughout it, but they all bend the knee to the current reigning king, who sits in Bresk, which is the capital of I'm saying Dasin. There's no like spelling pronunciation that goes with it, so I'm going with Dasin. And then on the map itself, you can see that to the north, above the Hetcom Mountains, is the kingdom of Regesia, and that Gate Pass is sort of up on the top left, which is where your adventure started. But apart from that, no other questions, comments, concerns, things to sort of discuss, or we're ready to start the Eastern Path.
Yeah, I don't think there's really much. This isn't the kingdom that we are in, or that we are heading to, correct? The place that we're going through all of Dasin.
Yes, you are traveling through Dasin to.
Then no further questions.
Okay,
let's get the fuck through here.
All right, you guys will be following the Eastern Route, which is route. Okay.
Route. All right, black sheep.
While we're
normally
traveling,
pull over on
can
the
I try
left.
to make a roll to learn that song a bit more?
Absolutely. Why don't you give me a check? I think you had put maybe 3 hours into it, was what we determined last time.
Yeah, I think 3 hours.
And it was you needed and I think you needed 7 total. So give me that check.
What's the check?
Performance.
Okay.
Oh shit. Okay, damn it.
Okay, I'm gonna say that with a 16, you're pretty close to being done. Maybe one more check and you'll be good.
Okay.
Remember, again, I think I shared it should be in the player's journal at this point in Roll20. If you learn the song, it does give you access to that
the feat
that spell, the feat and the spells, etc. If you so choose. All right.
Do I have to take the feat to get the spell, or does the spell come with the song?
It's a good question. Let's address that when you get access to level 4 spells and whether or not you want to take it, because I think it's a level 4 spell. So okay. All right. So the Eastern Route, I can't stop saying it. Route, wow, is a road that winds along the edges of the Thornwood Forest and Tundra Mountains through a little-traveled area of Lord Rhaego's lands. The journey is difficult because the weather and the non-human life that tends to congregate at the wood's edges or at the hills leading to the mountains is often difficult. That said, you are not the only group of people that is making this trek. And so it is common enough that parties can move through here and be completely fine and unhindered. One of the things to note, though, as you were traveling through the mountain pass to get down to Cornerwood and now have moved along the eastern road or eastern route, um, you had noticed sort of an unnormal amount of rainy days. And as you continue on this path, the journey on horse from Cornerwood to Brightstaff is some um, 2 or 3 days in the making. The rainy days continue, although they break apart occasionally to let daylight through. But it seems either a very rainy season or or it's just like it's something to note. Like it's a slog to get through this effectively. Um, After the 2 or 3 days, the heroes reach a small town known as Brightstaff Commons that sits atop a hill. And so I will move you guys down the path. It's a poor town, but the people are very content. Hot springs well up on a nearby hill, and the heroes can spend an evening in relative luxury from the hot baths where attention is lavished upon paying customers. For whatever reason, Brightstaff Commons is one of the few places in all of Dasson that does not price gouge. And the cost to sit in the springs and be catered to with food and drink is no more than a few silver, should you so choose. The town itself, Brightstaff Commons, is an interesting name. And if anybody is so inclined, you may make an investigation check. Wow. Savannah, I mean, other people can try to roll, but Savannis is just grabbing this and going like, "Tell me more." The town is named after an artifact called the Bright Staff, which was a powerful healing object. About 10 years ago, a red dragon by the name of Vorax Hull took the staff and the dwarven clerics who guarded it back to its lair in the mountains. The reason it was taken was either because it was a fucking dragon and wanted to do what it liked, or legend says the clerics offered themselves up to spare the town from being destroyed. Townsfolk, though grateful, feel guilty and have started to forget about this as 10 years has passed. And everyone hopes that the dragon might not be there anymore as 10 years has gone by. But it's sort of the unspoken, queasy secret of Brightstaff Commons.
Sounds like an adventure.
I mean,
Who's the burglar?
did we bring a thrush? Now, that being said, I'd like everybody as they get to Brightstaff Commons to give me a perception check. So, Obscurity, I have a question for you. Do you have a higher stealth modifier than your perception?
Yes, sir.
What would be the additional add-on to that roll?
+2.
It's 22. So Sylvanas, you notice as I can only imagine spending a few silver to go sit in a hot springs,
Oh yeah.
get your socks dried, etc. Maybe others are doing this as well. Maybe they're just finding a place to settle down in the night. Um, you see a familiar looking shadow that kind of enters the same way you do into town in the form of an elf, maybe elf adjacent, and then
Elfish. Yeah.
quickly disappears again. Um,
Hmm.
it's not something that you kind of focus in on and immediately feel concerned about, but you do notice it and then kind of note it in your head to say, I feel like I saw that somewhere on the road before. Um, everybody else, either you're being pampered or you found just a warm place to sort of enjoy an evening away for a relatively reasonable cost. I will also say, is there anything anybody wants to do for shopping, as this may be one of the last places you can attempt to do that before everything is stupidly priced?
What shops are available in the town?
Um, so what I'm going to say is, if you are looking for a common magical item or just a standard common item, the items themselves are there. If it's a common magical item, there's a 50% chance it's there. If you're looking for a specific magical item, there is a 15% chance that it is there. Anything beyond uncommon is not in this town.
Got it.
Also, I highly doubt anybody has the cash thing beyond uncommon. So that's it. So
So I'm assuming they have rope.
yes, common item.
Okay.
Yes, standard cost. No, like I said, this town, for whatever reason, whether it was because they had a hard winter and they're feeling like pitiful, or not pitiful, but they're feeling pity on the travelers. This is like, as a DM, I'm telling you, this is your last stop to do shopping that will not be stupidly expensive.
Yeah.
Do we see any
I want to
like?
have cleared out all of the healing potions from this whole town. I want to get all of them before this party does.
I'll
I
tell you
snatch
what.
them all.
Nobody said it before you, so why don't you roll me? I don't know what you got for cash, but roll a d20, and that is how many
I
healing
got some
potions are in this town.
tradable items. Just a straight D20.
Straight d20, and that's how many are in town. And each one will be valued at 50 gold pieces.
Okay. D20. Boom. Make it big. Nobody. That's all. I'll take them.
I mean, it is a small town between like a forest and some mountains, and there's not really like a magic shop. There's just stuff people may have dropped or forgot or whatever. So, okay.
Um, would I be able to find one of the following things, like a cloak of protection, or a bag of holding,
So
or
both of those
a
are uncommon.
rapier +1?
Both of those, all three of those, I think, are uncommon items, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so there is a 15% chance that it could be there.
All right.
So roll your percentile die, and so 2d10s and or a d100, because that's fun too, for each of those items. And if you get, you can either do 85 and above or 15 and below. And if you get it, then it's there for the standard cost.
You know what? We'll go 85 and above for all three. See
Okay,
what happens.
roll those dice.
Oh, all right.
So break
Yeah,
that
you
down for us.
the whole thing
The
was above.
Everything's there, yeah.
no. So the
Yeah, it's
rapier +1 was the
175.
last
That's
thing I
above
mentioned.
85.
No, but the rapier +1 was the last thing I mentioned. So I'm going to say that's the last
Mhm.
number on there. Because it was a 58, a 27, and a 90. So,
All right, so the rapier +1 there is available, and a +1 weapon. I think the standard going cost is 500 gold.
oof. What do we? What do I have for gold? Probably nothing.
How much was the gold?
I think it's 500 for a +1 weapon. It's the baseline
Okay.
price for one.
Yeah.
How much gold did we have as a group? Gold hoarder.
Not 500.
She's a
Yeah, fair enough.
gold
I think we only had like what
hoarder.
250 or something.
Yeah, I'm sitting at 288.
Would I be able to busk for some coinage in the town?
Not 500 gold's worth.
I know, but just like in general.
I So there are rules for making money in downtime. Remember, you guys are fleeing an army. If you want
Oh
to
yeah,
take
that's
time
true.
to try to do that, I mean, you can try it, but there may or may not be clocks ticking as we're going.
Okay. Uh, in that case, I might need to grab some potions of healing as well. if there are any left after somebody who I don't know emptied out all of the shops, of which I had no idea that the inventory was already gone. So,
Oh, I would like to clarify one thing that the feather token is the anchor token, I believe. I
Mhm.
just saw the list in Discord. And
Yeah,
I
you
wanted
had
to make
said.
sure.
Oh, dude, I've moved on from that. Where is that?
Okay, cool. No, I pulled it up and
No, I
looked at
have
it, and I'm like,
in
that's
my
the
in
same
my.
thing. Those are the same
Am I
thing.
in the
Yeah.
right thing? I'm not even in the right one. Yeah, so yeah, it's right there. That's
Underworld.
why.
Yeah.
No, I know.
Okay. Cool.
The feather
Okay.
token. Then we rolled for it, and it was I have it in my
The
inventory
anchor.
as feather anchor token.
Okay. Cool.
Is anyone willing? Can I sell stuff?
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna rather than do like a discount sell price. I'm gonna say you can, if you want to sell stuff in this game, because we're moving through this. You can sell it for same cost. I won't even. I
Okay,
won't knock.
cool.
So like if something's 50 gold, you can sell it for 50 gold. Same.
All right, cool.
So,
Yeah, I had a bunch of.
the only stipulation
I
I
have a
put on
blue
that.
sapphire I would like to sell.
Holy moly! Before you do that, I want to say one thing.
Yep, stipulation.
Before stipulation, if you have a horse and that horse is killed, you cannot sell it for market value. That's the stipulation.
You already
Wait.
said
wait. But could I sell it for
this is
glue
bullshit.
to the
You're
knacker?
changing the deal.
I feel you're not selling the same item at that point.
Well, hold on.
Very different
Wouldn't
item.
we sell it for more though to the knacker? And
don't-
get
I
it
don't
for
think
glue
that's-
cost and the hide and the meat.
Again, if you want in your downtime to sell your dead horses, then cart them with you until you can sell them that way. But Dolan, you said you want to sell a blue sapphire.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Unencumbered.
How much does a blue sapphire go for?
1,000 gold pieces.
Okay. So I'm not. You're going to be hard pressed to get 1,000 gold in this tiny town. I'm not saying you
All
can't
right, then
sell
I'll
it.
keep it.
Okay. I feel like if you're like, do you want to buy this in a store? Someone's going to be like, yeah, I want to buy it. How much is it? And you're like, 1,000 gold. And they're like, I've never seen 200 gold in my whole life, so I can't.
How much is it? Your town.
Your town. Sold. She owns the town now, everybody. It's hers. And Dolan rolls up another character because now she's the mayor of Brightstaff
Well,
Commons.
No, you
Is there
can
somebody
own
here
it and just go off. Put
Is
someone
there
in
someone
charge.
here who can make healing potions? Or were these healing potions that I purchased imported?
They were imported or found, basically.
Okay.
To be
Then I'll
fair,
sit on my sapphire.
you guys are headed to a place where moving an item that's worth 1,000 gold is not impossible. You are moving to a place where there are people who make magic items. It's a long road to get there.
Hey Tom, Nimevra just died of a heart attack. I need to make a new really rich character like Jen did.
Melchizedek had the same blue sapphire. He let us start with a common item, and that's what it was.
Oh, nice.
Wow. Okay. I think that might
Good
be.
work.
I think that might be. That might be something we have to discuss because you didn't run that by me. You just took it. But anyway.
Ah,
You just said
that
any
was-
common
You know what?
item.
Right.
You
Yeah.
said any
Outsmarted.
common item.
I mean, don't be.
You give us
concerned if it's-
nothing.
Don't be concerned if I steal it from you in the night from a thief who's like 1,000 gold, baby. But anyways,
Yes. Don't be concerned about that.
is there anything else that you guys want to do in Brightstaff Commons before setting off again?
Can we get more information about the whole happening with the clerics and the staff? Like the direction it went,
All right.
the dragon went, all that stuff.
So I was going to jump in with something, but I'm just glad to hear that Eric and I are on the same page here. Nim really is kind of figuring out why she kind of looks to Savenis for some answers when he asks about that sort of stuff. All right, excellent.
So with that 22, that's about all that's there. Again, this is something that happened a decade ago, and even the most like wizened people that are in town are either loath to talk about it because they feel it was a failing of the town and something that kind of has led to a level of sort of um, disrepute for them, or they generally don't even know. Like they know that there were dwarves that had this holy item that lived here, and that's why this was named this. A dragon came and was like, "I'm taking that shit," and all the dwarves were like, "Don't hurt the town. We'll go with you." And then that was it.
I guess what I'm
That was
trying
a
to see
decade
is
ago. Everyone has died since then.
Hmm.
All right. The
It's
town
also
is
true.
run by
Everybody got a splinter and died.
7-year-olds.
So 17-year-olds, but close.
No, that's way too old. They were actually
so.
there for that.
Alright.
7.
So do they still view this as like actually happening, or are they starting to question it even happening if nobody remembers it?
Well, it's so again, it's not that they don't remember it. It's just people don't want to talk about it, right? Like, so if you live in a town where somebody like killed 20 people there, yeah, outsiders want to come and talk about it, but the people that live there are like, just fucking move on. Like, we don't want to talk about this anymore. It's a blemish on our past. Like, shit happens, but please stop talking about this. And
You're
so in this
supposed to never
case,
forget.
that's what some people say, but apparently not the people in Brightstaff Commons.
Never again. Never again. Okay, so if we were to, I guess theoretically, is there anyone we could talk to about trying to get like maybe someone in charge who we could talk to about this and see if it's something that, hey, if we attempted to grab, get this staff back and make sure the clerics were okay, would we be in the good graces of the town? Would be more of like a
I think, I think two things. You know what? Roll for me a what is your strongest skill associated with smats? Intelligence, wisdom, what is it?
let me see what I got. Probably my perception at 8.
So that's not smarts. Intelligence or wisdom? What do you got?
Okay, well, perception is wisdom based, so I thought that's what you meant.
No, no, I'm sorry. So
Oh,
as far as a
oh, just the
save
wisdom
goes.
or intelligence. They're both the same at +2.
All right, so roll that dice.
All right.
15, great. You remember to put your bathrobe on as you get out of the hot springs. You
Cool.
start walking around, chatting up the locals, not just nude, which is not your norm, right? Because normally you're a bard, who cares? But what you are able to ascertain is that the dragon that took this took a number of high-level clerics with him as payment to not destroy the town. Your party does not represent a group of high level clerics, which means that this dragon is probably well beyond your reach at the moment. However, if you'd like to store this in your quest tracker as something you could do later, that's a good idea. There's a tiny part of me that just wants to see Sylvanas go through the same thing that happened when everybody tried to quietly climb up the worm tunnel, and then the worms woke up and just breathed fire on you. Yeah, just so I mean, just see what you do. See what you do. But that's what you get with a 15 from that.
All right, and that's in the Tundra Mountains. All right.
They don't specify where the dragon went, but you feel fairly confident that its lair must be somewhere
Yeah.
in that range. All right. Is everybody chopped? Everybody got what they wanted to get done in this town done?
I think so.
Did we
Okay,
get any more healing potions like I had asked?
Dolan was the first to speak up, and she grabbed the two of them.
Oh, okay. She grabbed them all. All right.
Yes.
we're at like you said hot springs and everything.
Yes.
So it wouldn't be too crazy if they had the perfume of bewitching.
If they had a what? I'm sorry.
Perfume of bewitching,
What is this? Do tell.
common item, makes you
Then
smell good.
then they have it. 100%.
They do have it. How much would
Yes.
something like that go? And
Standard cost.
how many pumps?
Let's do this. Let's do it'll be standard cost, and does it say, like, if you look up the
I
item,
have
does it
no
say?
idea what the cost is. It's a common item. What would you say? 50 gold maybe? I don't know. It's a
So
gallon of milk. How much could it cost?
does it wait,
$10?
wait, does it do anything besides
It's
making you
one banana.
smell
How much
bewitching?
could it
Does it
cost? $10?
does it does it smell like, besides making
Depends
you
on the
smell great,
store.
does it do anything?
It do. If I find it again, I will let you know exactly what it do. It's something about giving advantage on charisma checks.
Yeah, so let's say there is one. We'll call it 50 gold pieces, and roll a d6. If you get a 1 or a 2, there's one use of it. A 3 or a 4 is 2, and a 5 or a 6, there's 3.
All right. Uh, oh, well, it has one. One
There's
pump.
one, but it's
50 for one pump.
it gives you double advantage, which is nothing, but it gives you double
Oh,
advantage.
perfume of bewitching. At least it lasts for an hour.
If I was a betting man, I would say, you know what? You know what? If you're spending 50 gold on it, you can have 2 charges. I'll give you 2 charges of it.
Huge.
You're
Oh,
so nice.
Well, I'm just saying, if the bard has advantage on charisma checks for an hour, I don't want to have to tell, like, I don't want to have to populate a town with Savannah's children in 9 months. So I just don't want to do that.
Hey,
don't worry. It already limits itself to like probably shopkeepers and stuff. It says humanoids with a challenge rating of 1 or lower. So it's like
So
that's
Savannah's runs around to all the skanks, gets laid a bunch of times. Yep. Okay.
hey, I
All right.
I bought
tell all
this,
your
but
husbands to give me a discount.
I don't know if I can give this to you, Venice. I don't know if I'm strong enough. All right, let's see. And then the only other thing that I would be looking for, and this one they might not have. It's another common item, the hat of wizardry.
Oh yeah. Yeah. What's the price tag on that though?
Again, I don't know. And beyond, there's no price, but let me see if I can. What's this from? Xanthar's Guide?
There's got to be a price for it.
Hat of wizardry cost. Well, according to my browser's AI assistant, it says between 50 and 100 gold pieces. I
75
don't.
sold.
Uh, how much gold do we have? And then this is just like, you know, I don't want to be spending all of this because it doesn't do much for me, but
It
might come in
What
handy.
does it give you?
I can use my hat as a spellcasting focus, and I already have plenty of those. But it, I can attempt to cast a cantrip that I don't know, but it has to be from the wizard spell list, and I have to make a check every time I do it. And if I don't pass the check, I waste the entire action.
Hmm. So I will say that you guys are going to need gold coming up. I think it's fair to say that and not leave it as a surprise. So take that under advisement when it comes to this. So, and I don't know what you guys have for gold because I have not been tracking it. I've just been telling you what you're getting.
All right. Let's see. You already bought the bewitching potion?
Yeah. The perfume, yeah.
All right, and this is the hat of wizardry. So, like, what cantrips would this add?
Literally all of them, I think.
Well, no, I know, but like, I'm thinking in terms because Jesus Christ, how many? Oh, because you're a sorcerer and a wizard.
Yeah.
you
That's what I
already
mean. Like
have 30
literally
of them.
everything. It's just like,
Let's see.
I got a lot. I mean, mending, message.
Holy fucking wizards!
that's what I'm saying. This opens a door to a lot. So
Okay, yeah, no, yeah, 75 done. No, TJ, you nailed it. Exactly what I was looking for. Mending, message, that sort of stuff where it's like, yeah, you can use that outside. Remove the 75 gold. We're good. You have the hat of wizardry.
Yeah,
all right,
these
all
are
right.
these are just common things, but at the same time, having just
No, but absolutely. That now those are the ones where it's just like, oh god, it would be real nice to have message, wouldn't it?
right.
But how
like
often is that going to come up? It's like fucking hat.
Yeah. I can't
Done.
I can't
Easy.
know that until I
Jeez.
change. Yeah, I can't know that until I take a long rest when I change out my spells. Oh wait, no, I just know it now. Like that's pretty dope. So I think the only other question I'll ask before you leave Bright Staff Commons is to obscurity. Obscurity, are you doing anything else while you're here? Is there anything that you want to do as far as anything?
Yes. So I've been watching these heroes trying to determine if I could figure out, are they good aligned, are they evil aligned, um are our personal desires potentially aligned before I even approach them. So have I seen anything from them, any interactions with the townsfolk to sort of give me an idea of maybe where they're heading, what they're doing, if I would want to align with these guys.
So
I mean,
first thing I'll
I'd say
say is
right now is
heroes. What?
probably just kind of like I would imagine that everything is kind of just out in the open where it's like kind of where we're going and how we've been interacting with everyone, and it's like I mean, there's nothing so far.
Have you guys been dicks?
No, just Savannis.
Just using.
He remembered to put his towel on though.
Just
Let's stress that.
right.
I think that what you've seen is, like in the last town, they bought horses and set out. They dealt with the guards but didn't fight with them. They clearly maybe spoke of coming from the fire forest, which is something that no one has done in 40 years. And they seem to be and I mean, they're probably not being quiet about where their goal is, or at least they're moving, as many of the refugees are, towards the path that leads to Sequin, the mage's school in the south.
Okay. Then I would probably approach Nim first. And
Nim, you're winning sexiest right now.
Or something like that.
introduce myself.
We can RP this out if you want, or you could just say that you do. It's up to you guys.
I don't care either way.
Yeah, we can. You introduce yourself. I
As obscurity.
explain to you who we are, what we're doing. If you, I'm assuming that you're offering your help and services. You explain, I think, kind of what we had talked about, where it's you're looking for a group that you want to help to start doing good and better in the world, sort of thing. You're racist against elves?
Oh,
I'm not racist
Savannah's is
against
like,
elves.
not again.
I just know elves are
nobody
dicks.
likes me.
Mhm.
And
I'm not.
ultimately I don't want this war to happen.
Okay.
Like
I'm not
I don't
racist
want the
against elves. I
destruction.
just know they're dicks and they smell.
Yeah.
Smell like
Orcs smell.
onions.
Orcs smell. Elves are dicks.
Orcs smell like potatoes.
Potatoes.
And dwarves
Yeah.
smell like
That's the
feet.
halflings.
And your party
Onions
looks
and
a little
feet.
bit light too to me, so I don't see anybody with my particular set of skills um amongst you. So for that reason, I think maybe we would make a good alliance.
Absolutely. Welcome aboard.
Well, that
But
was easy.
well, it's
internal
definitely something.
dialogue.
No, I know. It was. I was just about to say. Oops. I was just about to say like, and then I'll just make sure to keep an eye on her until we figure out that she's all set. But you know,
Obscurity has an inner monologue as an monologue. Fools, they trust me too willingly.
I.
What did you say? Nothing at all. Ha 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 ha. Oh boy. All
They
right.
have no idea that I'm actually truly evil. What? Nothing. Disregard that.
said,
That
"Isn't
was
it a
meant to
lovely
be
night?"
in my
Disregard.
mind. I
They have
forget
no
to.
idea that my entire crew already previously perished. That's why I'm looking for a new.
Right.
Allow myself to introduce myself.
So,
All right.
But
So
no, with the 20 AC and my spirit guardians, I kind of I'm a little confident, and you know, with the rest of the crew, we're in good shape. I feel.
all right.
We'll see.
So you guys wake up the next morning. You've got the gear that you tried to find. Horses are freshly watered. For a moment, your clothes are dry, and you set off further down the eastern pathway. About halfway to the next kind of stopping point, where there's like these. What you've noticed on the path so far is there's like these refugee encampments that are set up between towns, where like every 20 or 30 miles that people have just sort of stopped and sort of made a place to sort of have a meal, have some sort of relative safety with others around them, and also there's these sort of passing flights of guards, right? Guards or knights that are passing along, and maybe about halfway between leaving Brightstaff Commons and to where the next sort of like stopping point would be for your journey south. A knight sort of and his entourage rides up and sort of is like, "Well met, travelers. Where is it that you are going?"
good question.
You, you travel through Dasson and know not where it is that you head? I can only imagine that everybody on mute right now is like, "Fuck! Where are we going?" Sequent. You are headed to Sequent.
Sequin. Alright.
Mage School. Potential area of reprieve for all of the magic users that are being hounded by the Regessian Empire. As you say sequence to this knight, he's like, "Oh, there's no need to go there. Place is nothing but fools. Magical fools." But I won't hold it against you. Let us sup together. I have bread. Do you have anything?
That's a good question. I'm not sure we have basic food, I believe.
I love basic food. We should share that.
Would we figure out what he seems to be all about? If he seems well intentioned or just
Sounds like a insight check.
uh,
Meanwhile, obscurity sneaks up behind him and goes, "Judo chop!" This guy seems on the level, Sylvanus. Like he seems like a good guy. He just has no love for Sequen when you mention it. So maybe that's a point you can press with him. Maybe get some more intel.
okay.
He has offered to have a meal with you as you reach the next sort of stopping point, which I will. Everybody down.
I'm going to be talking with Obscurity because at some point I noticed the black walnut nunchaku, unless that's hidden away.
No, that's very visible.
Nice.
She's just swinging him. She's riding her horse. She's just swinging him right next to you.
Since we just left Bright Staff, also, would I have
Oh,
taken any
shit.
time to try and learn the song?
Oh,
Yeah.
would
You
you?
give me one more roll. As long as you do. Listen, if you get a 12 or above, you've got the song learned. Boom. You now know the song. There you go.
I'll put
All right.
that down. Okay, I wouldn't mind sharing a meal with this knight if I can get a little bit more information about the mage
Excellent.
school.
I will share bread, and you will share hardtack
Basic
or whatever
food.
crap you have. Basic food. Excellent.
Basic food.
um, and so the Duke and his entourage will come and sit, and as promised, he shares bread, which is actually really, really good bread. I don't know about you guys, but I love rye bread. Do you have a bread that you're particularly fond of?
Good sourdough loaf.
Mm. Kevin, I can only imagine you're going to say onion roll because of your love of onions.
Right? No, I have a choice. It's potato bread.
Oh, that's another good one. All right. All right. Anybody else have something that they want to just throw out there as a delicious option in the bread category?
Brioche, French
Ooh.
toasted.
Oh. Well, perhaps you skill the party in toasting this bread via the campfire that you're all sitting around. And
Yeah,
in
obviously I bought a Dutch oven.
yeah, that sounds like you're pulling the covers up and farting, but okay. However, in repayment for this, Quincy Felthuf. Yep, that's Quincy, like you would spell this, the town in Massachusetts, and then Felthuf, Felthuf, is a knight of Lord Rhaego, and you guys are currently in Rhaego's lands. About, well, several decades ago, the Duke apparently requested help preventing a sorcerer from tapping into the power of an air, like elemental, primordial, some sort of thing that was trapped on a peak in the Tundra Mountains. Um, and the Lyceum refused to help. And this sorcerer named Lisipu, Lsipu, maybe it's Sipu, but I'm gonna go with Lisi because there's an L there. Um, this guy shows up. He apparently came from the school, but was not from the school, and the school being the Sequen. Did this binding ritual and gained like immense power that he immediately unleashed on Rhaego's castle. And after 2 weeks of destruction, this guy, let's see, Pooh, suddenly was like, I don't need you anymore, lets this creature go and disappears with it, leaving behind like Rhaego absolutely devastated. And it was once one of the strongest places in all of Dason, and so Lord Rhaego and obviously Quincy, as one of the sort of hand men, hate anything that comes from Sequin, and the sorcerer was one of them.
Okay.
Oh, what an excellent way of toasting bread! We could have toasted bread, lads. Have we ever heard of this before? No, we haven't. No, I haven't done
Man,
it. Good
this is
show.
the finest thing since sliced bread.
I can slice it and toast it.
And you can call it cooked bread.
I love it. Maybe we'll call it that. Don't burn it, though. Then we'll have to call it scorched.
Or charred, if you may.
Oh, you are all quite wise in the way of words. All right. And so the evening winds down to a fitful rest. And unless there's anything else, you guys awake in the morning and can continue on. Hearing no one saying otherwise, you guys wake up and start moving further down towards almost the end of the Tunda Mountains. And as you're sort of getting to where the foothills are, those sort of rising peaks that don't go as high as the actual apex of the mountains themselves, the land is starting to spread out and get flatter, and you are starting to enter into another district of Dason known as Namin, Namin. You hear in the distance this like rumbling that as you kind of like as your ears are kind of like peaked to it and you look, that you see that there is something roaring on top of one of the hills. It appears
It's
to
a
be
red dragon.
a
Are we
large
getting the bright
creature,
staff?
but it is not a dragon. This creature has the body of a lion and the wings of an
Head
eagle.
of a lion.
A griffin? No. It's an eagle.
That's what it sounds like. Or
It sounds like a griffin, but usually a griffin is the body of a lion, face of an eagle, isn't it?
No.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, face of an eagle and wings.
Face of an eagle?
Yeah, I thought I said
maybe. I don't know.
Unless it's a manticore.
Ooh. But manticores don't have wings.
As you
or a
guys
chimera.
as you
That's
guys
what-
see
A
this,
wicked manticore.
Certainly
Let's
kill it.
sounds like.
as you guys see this, it roars again and shoots into the sky as if it's getting ready to pounce on something. And then it kind of lands on the ground, and you know, like when a cat has like a light on the floor, it starts like freaking out on the grass, just ripping the grass and the turf up around it, and then it sort of stops and looks towards all of you. Now this is several hundred feet away, but you see this happening. It's a large creature doing this on this hillock. Looks at all of you, and then you all hear a whistle, and this creature turns and romps back towards a small looking humanoid who seems to shine in the as it's coming down. And as you squint to see, it looks like this dwarf maybe is wearing a magnificent silver mantle and like silver skull cap. And as you're all like, what the fuck? The dwarf like uncannily leaps up onto this creature's back and they fly away. And if anybody wants to give me a nature check, I might be able to tell you some things about what you just saw. All right, Savenus with a 19. That was not a griffin. That was, all right, with a 15 as well. That was a sphinx.
Ooh.
Also with a 19 and a 15. You guys either know or maybe this was something you people traveling around you, or maybe like the other refugees that are kind of near you kind of start babbling to each other. But um, everything you know about sphinxes makes you think that they are these like very solemn, reserved, not plateful things. And this creature's behavior seemed very at odds with that, um, which really kind of throws you for a loop. Like sphinxes are creatures that enjoy riddles and may or may not be inclined to help or eat you, depending upon how you interact with them. Um, or even just send you off to your doom because it may give them something to think about for a while. And so to see one acting effectively like a kitten, and then having someone ride them away is just highly unusual. As far as like a dwarf riding one, there is no lore that you are aware of that speaks to that, at least at this time.
Hmm.
You guys settle in, rest for another night. This time, when you bed down, you notice that other sort of uh, travelers on the road have sort of left you be and have either gathered by themselves or that you are by yourself. And so, as such, you may feel compelled to set up watches tonight, or not, but that's up to you. What would you guys like to do?
I don't sleep without a watch.
Should have bought one in town.
Do you sleep?
Technically, no.
Don't give her dream
Also-
seeds, then.
I love the fact that you are a shadow monk. If that's been
Thank you.
shared.
I mean, I don't know. Have we talked on this
I-
trip?
I-
I don't. I mean, I'm not. I mean, that's kind of obvious. I think me being a shadow monk, that you've seen as we've been traveling. I definitely stick to the shadows.
Okay, because yeah, I was definitely attempting to talk with you to make sure that you're trustworthy and everything, but also as I, with fond memories of a shadow monk myself, it makes me think of the things that you can do, but also I am a Twilight cleric.
Yeah.
So, as a bonus action, when you are in dim light or darkness, you can magically give yourself a flying speed equal to your walking speed. So at some point, I have to make myself strong enough to be able to carry you so you can create darkness, and then I can fly us around.
Yep.
You guys gotta learn how to see in darkness, because I
Yes.
can create darkness as well, being a dark sorcerer,
This is excellent.
shadow sorcerer.
No one will be able to
Dramatic.
see anything.
We'll
On
just create
any
darkness
side.
everywhere we go and slaughter everybody.
Right.
So, but you can't see, so you may kill each other as you do that. Just like So yeah, so you guys were setting up watches. You were not. What do you guys want to do?
Yes. I can try and go first.
Tom, what's the name of the song? Like the exact name?
Song of Forms. The Song of Forms.
Okay.
For a minute there, I'm like, oh shit, what song are we talking? Oh yeah, that song. Yeah. So.
Yep. All right. Thank you.
And I think you should, if you go into your character's journal,
Blood
have
Drew
a breakout about that. Blood procuted. All right, so Nim's taking first watch. So everybody else is bedding down. Does everybody else have bedrolls and or tents, or how are you guys sleeping?
sleep in the shadow.
I am the shadows.
I'm one with the night.
I just teleport from shadow to shadow. Let me be sleeping.
Yes.
The forest sounds of snores because it's just one person bouncing between trees the whole night. So
It
yeah,
doesn't echo, but it might as well.
it's just like, where is it coming from? What is that? So yeah, do you guys have camping gear? Have you bought camping gear? Should you
do.
have bought camping gear? So
I definitely.
Yeah, you just choose item instead of gold at the end of create character.
I do
Okay.
have a bedroll. I don't have a tent, but I'll be up in a tree, so it won't matter anyways.
Okay. All right. And well, also as an elf, I think you only need to rest for your torpor, right? Like you just have your kind of, like your hour of downtime or 2 hours or whatever it is.
Yeah, there's astral trance. I don't need to sleep, and magic can't put me to sleep. I finish a long rest in 4 hours.
4 hours. Okay. So, I'm sorry. In other stuff and things, sometimes it's called like a torpor or whatever. But yeah, it's like the elf only takes half the time to rest. Um, so cool. So you're in a tree. There's another bamfing person. What about Kane and what about Moruk?
Blanket and bedroll.
Yeah.
As you guys set up, you realize it's going to be a soggy evening as the rain has set back in again. But the first watch goes without anything of note. Who's got second watch?
I'll go get Moruk.
That's all. I'm disappointed.
Actually,
I
no.
have to get up.
Except no, I'll get Savannis. I'll start throwing rocks into the tree. Like little rocks. I'm not trying to be a dick, but like he definitely has to get up.
So Venice, do you get up?
Again, I go to
get
him
up.
for answers on things. I don't want to, burn that bridge. But I'm definitely throwing pebbles at his bedroll that that he has up there. Why does he do that? He just because it's weird because he sleeps like on the tree, like he's like just hanging over it. His stomach is just on a limb.
Really, it's just wrapped around me because I'm meditating. So
He's just like his head is down and then his feet are down. He's just on the limb, like at his waist, just hanging on it like a piece of laundry.
I was gonna say like an awkward cat. Like rather than like a like predator cats in the savannah will lay like that with their all four legs hanging over, but usually it's like sternum to belly as opposed to just midsection half on half off kind of thing. But
Yeah,
okay.
like I saw obscurity like kind of go. She like disappeared into the shadows, but then I saw her on like a limb for a second as she like kind of set up and like laid down and melded into the tree into the shadows. And then I see Savannis just climb up the tree and then just like plop down, hanging over.
so I'm up.
All right.
Different types of elves.
All right, give me a perception check. Okay. So during your watch, everything is quiet. Stars light the sky, but there are tiny pinpricks through the sort of clouds rolling through, dropping this light rain. It's not enough for it to be a downpour. It's really just sort of a drizzle. But for anybody that's laying on the ground, they're getting soaked, and all of their gear is getting soaked. Towards the end of your watch, you hear what sounds like a rustling in the trees in the distance. Like if you look at the map, the trees are a good several miles away, so you hear something moving in the thornwood. but it just sounds like something big moving in the thornwood, not coming towards you, but like there's something in there.
All right.
And then it kind of fades away, and your watch ends. So who do you go to get to relieve you?
Well, is Morag still needing more sleep, more beauty sleep? If so, I'll go to Kane.
The most beautiful of them all.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm trying to catch up.
It's at this point, it's a back and forth between the two of them. So who do you go to?
I'll go to Kane at this point.
All right, so you go to Kane. Kane wakes up begrudgingly, gets up. Um, somebody roll me a perception check for Kane. And is anybody else awake right now, or is it just Kane? I'm guessing with the two elves that maybe Sovenis and
We're just kind of we're there in existence and understanding that things are happening around us in our meditative trance. I can talk. I swear.
We'll get there.
Yeah,
Okay.
eventually.
if somebody wants to roll, so obscurity rolled a perception check if we were Kane as well.
The one above obscurity.
Oh, you rolled for Kane. I'm sorry. I just saw Nim roll. I didn't know it was your for Kane. So you guys, it's sort of the tail end of the evening into the morning. The rain continues to fall as a drizzle, just sort of soaking anything and everything. Ground muddy beneath you. And as the sun starts to rise, it actually starts to let off a little bit. And as the sun comes up over the horizon, there's that sort of steamy moment that happens in weather that's not too hot, not too cold, where things start to burn off and the dew starts to starts to toin into moisture rising off the leaves. And you see obscurity. You see, because your sight for some reason lets you see this, that way out to the east there seems to be large vessels sailing on the distant horizon. You can't tell who they are or what they are, but they're just like these tiny black dots that must be some kind of ship. And you know that one of the things you found out right away when you came into Dassen was that there was a shipping or a naval blockade. So where these ships are going must not be to here, but you're not quite sure who they are or what's going on. But it seems that there's like an entourage of vessels sailing way out.
Going away from us, or coming towards, or kind of
South,
holding position?
Headed south.
Okay.
Which is basically where you're heading to. Just you're
Right.
taking a more circuitous land route. But yeah, so you guys wake up, try to dry yourselves off as best you can, and you set off. Moving on. You
I let
pass
them
the
know
day.
what I
I'll
thought.
take a while with prestidigitation
I was just gonna say.
or dry. I'll dry myself off and everyone else eventually over some time. So that we're at least
If only
comfortable.
create or destroy water wasn't a spell. Wasn't an actual like first level spell. I would just destroy all the water on your clothes.
I can only do it to clothing, so like you're still kind of
damp
underneath, I guess. But like,
but then if I would just rub my clothes on it, and then you would just do it again.
Exactly, you just do that stuff. And if it's not, if drying you it isn't cleaning you, just pee your pants, and then I can make that,
So I
And I
mean,
can clean
it's
it.
fair. It's fair.
You know?
No, I peed on my face.
So a couple people who
That way I could clean it.
a couple people who
Right.
Spell needs
have come to things in the past may remember my friend Ben. And Ben Houston was literally the
The
living
Hobbit?
the living visage of what a hobbit should look. Maybe a little taller than what a hobbit is, but like his hair, his like curly haired toes, everything. He was
His
a hobbit.
existence is Hobbit.
Is hobbit. Yeah. Like at one point one of the guys that I worked with in Boston came up to me after field day and was like, "How did you get a hobbit to show up?" And I was like, "Who are you talking about?" And he's like, "That guy." And I pulled up a picture and he's like, "That guy." And I was like, "Oh, that's my buddy Ben." And he's like, "Don't you destroy this for me. That is a hobbit. I don't know what his name is, but you brought a hobbit to field day." I was like, "Okay,
No,
fine."
he's right. He is a Hobbit.
Right. Yeah.
Just the
So-
fact that you're friends with a Hobbit. I mean, that is what makes sense.
Yeah, that's
You
fair.
would become friends with a Hobbit.
That's fair. That's fair. I do like second season. But you guys are now in the sort of the barony of a place called Namin, 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 and this is, if we were playing
Namin.
Catan,
Namin.
is
Nah, man.
grasslands, wheatlands. It is not.
Oh,
There is not an
jeez.
availability of trees. It is plains that you guys are in right now.
So sheep.
Yeah, sheep too. Sure. There's no mountain or ore here. You've left that zone.
Yeah.
But as you move along and you're interacting with people on roads with you, you quickly understand that your presence, even with your stories, is being met with like a lukewarm enthusiasm. It turns out that refugees to Sequin have been problematic for as this area is like the leadership of it is partial to the Shehalisti, and do not like to see Regessians flee into the and as you're moving through this, word has spread that you have come from Gate Pass, and you're almost always followed by knights. They don't hinder you, they don't harry you, but there are like there are knights from this barony that are just keeping an eye on you to ensure that that you're not causing trouble or trying to stir up stuff and things.
How important we are to get a personal escort.
Do as you're traveling to sort of the next like encampment area where you can settle in, which is where I've moved you on the map. Do you try to interact with them at all, or do you just sort of like let them be because they're letting you?
I mean, throw out some greetings and let's see. Do we have anything? No, I've got nothing.
I could
But,
help with a charisma check.
I mean, if you know, maybe some light shows or something with like prestidigitation or whatever, or minor illusions for
You
them.
turn around and you're like, "Hey guys,
put on a show.
Just start shooting lights at them, and they're like, "Oh, Jesus!"
Not at them, just like up in the air. You know, give them a show as we're just going along. Just the bard and the wizard, just playing with their fucking magic up in the air.
Magic and sound. We'll play some music, do some magic. It'll be a
Right?
good time.
Well, remember,
It'll be a laser light show.
We're either gonna have a wedding or an execution. Either way, it should be a
We're
good
gonna
time.
have a good time.
So I think with that, what I would say is, why don't you do this? You, Savenus, can roll a performance check with advantage because you have that master instrument that you got from in the forest. So you roll that with advantage, and then because of the aid, you can add 2 to it.
All right. Well, we'll add 2 to the 13 for a 15.
All right. Well, seeing as these are Oh,
if
go
you
ahead.
were doing something, could I have just thrown a guidance on him for
Sure.
a D4?
You can do it, and I probably should have waited, but a 15 was the DC. So with a +2 and the 13 roll, he's already got it. And then with the
Oh, cool.
guidance, no matter what it is, you guys
He's
are
even
okay.
more gooder at it.
He's more even gooder. And one of the things that I think is interesting that these knights say to you that you've not learned yet is the peoples that live in Dassen are known as the Dassini. And I was like, and the reason I want to share this is I'm reading this module and that word kept coming up and I'm like, who the fuck are these people? Like, is it a group of knights? Like, who are they? And just like people who live in Paris are known as Parisians, people who live in Dassen are known as the Dassini. And so they
The
tell
water?
you yeah, no, that's Dasani, and they hate them. They're across the sea, but effectively
The
the Dasini.
expensive sea.
Yes, that's why the trade embargo enabling. But it's not saltwater, all freshies. But the Dasini have no interest in Sequin or refugees heading there. The reason that they're following you is they just want to make sure that you don't decide to stay here. They're like, we don't hate you, we don't love you, but we don't want your asses here. Um, but I will say that if you guys want to do like some gather information, you guys could roll some investigation checks, and maybe some of the soldiers share some more insight into things going on in Namin.
I investigated the
Oh,
dirt behind me.
so Venice, you went from crushing it to just saying, you know what
Not.
would be weird? Let me just punch myself in the nuts and see what happens.
Let's see. Where's that one? That.
Wanted to get some trap music going.
Plus. So 15 for me. Kane. Yep, I would not have given it to Kane. And that would have been a good call.
So with an 11 being the highest we've got going right now?
No,
Or,
that's a 15.
oh, it's a 15. Oh, okay, cool.
And
So with,
also, we've got Moruck, who's the investigation guy.
You want an
Rook.
investigation check?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Haha.
So I got it.
It's like having a +8 in perception, rolling a 1. You're like, still don't see shit. God damn it. So what you
so
are
focused on your own shoe.
so,
I
yeah,
can't
look
believe I scuffed that thing. Are
Dude,
you
I
serious?
just buffed it
Dude,
out!
focus. Focus. Stop looking at your own shoes.
So what you are able to pick up, you don't get everything, but what you are able to pick up is that this area, this land, is named for the Namin family, and that the current ruler is known as Lady Namin. And there's sort of like, as you guys are like, maybe stopping to eat something or still riding and just sort of chatting with each other and swapping tales, that the rumors are that Lady Namin has like this unrequited love for the current king of all of Dassen, whose name is King Steppengard. Um, that said, even though she carries this torch for him, King Steppengard currently is quote unquote happily married and has at least 18 children that can continue the Steppengard line. That's even still, Lady Namin has some sort of eyes on the prize, and then the sort of the Peanuts gallery feels that her goals are to one day be queen of all of Dassen, but if her goals are to try to like woo Steppengard, there's little to no chance of that.
How old is Steppengard's oldest male?
It's a good question. Without having it directly in front of me, I'm going to say that he has at least 2 children that could inherit the throne currently if he were to either step down or meet an untimely end. There's potentially more, but
Yeah, well, I mean, when you said 18 children, I'd imagine, even if it's popping out one a year, it's
well,
fucking
remember
fast paced to go.
after 10 years, you forget about him. You're like, I don't, what happened?
Yeah, but then right, exactly. He's back.
Dragons,
all,
clerics,
all
what,
of
children,
all of
whatever.
Dawson is just the Men in Black just come around every couple of months.
Blink, blink, blink. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, that's how Dawson stays on top of the shit. They're like, we got a
Right.
10-year memory. That's it. After that, we don't care. We don't have the
Right.
compassion. But yeah, so that's what you guys kind of learn as you're moving through Namin. The other thing that you kind of realize as you're going through here is these lands are relatively peaceful, and with the kind of guard that has been following you, and then as you kind of make sort of acquaintances with them and chat with them, you are unassailed as you continue through Namin. Traveling further south, I'll do some more field areas. I'm just sharing this so that you guys have some better understanding as you continue to move down. You guys continue to move south and get to the sort of the base or the southern foothills of the Torest Steppes. And as you get there and you enter into the Duchy of Megadon, which again may be my favorite name, like any principality I've come across ever. It's like, we want to name ourselves after an ancient apex predator. But we can't go with Megalodon, so we're just going to call ourselves Megadon, and I love it. However,
Megadon is pretty dope.
Yeah, you guys come up as you're traveling down to this point, as you're sort of entering into Megadon. You see where the Western Trail would have led you, which is literally right there, that sort of crossover at the southern end of the Taurus Steppes. This path is now going to lead you south to an area known as the Sour Lake Swamp, and entering into Lord Megadon's lands, and then you're going to cross the Nasham River into Lady Den's lands before reaching Vidor. And so basically, Lady Den owns the area on the western side of the trail headed south. And I can probably get more too. So we'll do this.
Yeah, I'm glad you did that, because I was going to say, Megadon is fucking small. I thought it was only, like...
It's kind of the ball sack of Dassen.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
I mean,
but when you
I
had
don't
it blocked,
know,
I thought
I
it
don't
was
know how else
only
to say
like...
it, yeah.
It was only, like, this area right here. But then, yeah, no, you definitely exposed this giant ball sack of...
Exposed is a good word.
Of Megadon.
For what's going on. Megadon, yeah.
It's just...
It's fucking stupid. I love it. However, as you enter into the Duchy of Megadon, as opposed to the people in Namin who are just like, we don't want Regessians traveling through here, but as long as you don't stay, we don't care. The people in Megadon are actively hostile to anything related to Sequence. And Lord Megadon is the person who has banned all sea travel and trade with that town, actively harassing non-citizens that are traveling on the road and charging a 10 gold piece per head price to travel on what is known as the Prince's Way. And as such, as you kind of come to the, I'm just going to move this to right here. No, I can't do that. I'm on the thing. Here we go. As you guys come to the river, there is, in order to catch the ferry across, appears to be the only way across. There is a 10 gold cost to do it.
To cross. Fucking, how many people are we paying for?
I'm gonna because I think it's stupid that you guys haven't been earning more at this point. It's only the party proper of 5. Everybody else is taken care of. They have their own. It's okay.
Okay. All right. I guess we're going for it, right?
And by going for it, you're just going to try to board without paying. What are you doing?
Yeah, no, absolutely. We're killing everyone on board. We're taking this.
Megadon is yours.
Obscurity.
Now,
You're like that's what you were talking about. We're on the same page here, right?
Yep.
I take your silence as an obvious yes. No, we're paying the 50 gold that it takes for us to get on the ferry as well.
Over
Unless
our dead
anyone
bodies.
else says something different. Then we discuss.
I don't know. It sounded like there was definitely a call for arms from
Right?
Boruck.
Yeah, whatever works. We have funds for it, sure.
All right, so you guys square up, pay up. You pay up. Pay up. Pay up.
Pay up, pay up, pay up.
People ask me if I get high on my own supply, and I say, "Shut up, bitch!" And then I say, "Yeah, I do." Anyways,
That's not right.
so stupid. Anyways,
Hell yeah, hell yeah.
all right.
That's
The
the
inns
answer.
and the inns and taverns along a after, like before and after the river. So basically, you've come back into a more civilized area, even though they're kind of asshats. It's more civilized. So there's like inns and taverns and keeps and stuff that you can kind of like hole up for and get out of the rain, because guess what? It's still raining. There's talk and chatter, and what they share with you is that everybody in Megadon kind of speaks favorably of the leadership of Megadon, and the leadership's like crazy wealth. Like I'm thinking Bezos showing up and saying, "I'll pay for this cookout," and by this cookout I mean get on my boat and we're going to go here and do this. Also, I've been watching regular show because I finished with Adventure Time, and there was the episode where Benson splurged to get premium hot dogs, and then they got the fake ones that tried to eat people. And now I can only imagine Jeff Bezos taking people for a cookout, and they have to like eat the ones that try to eat them. And I love what I'm thinking about right now. But anyways, the other thing that you become aware of as chatting with people is that Steppengard, King Steppengard, who sits in Bresk, is mustering troops to defend Dason. But most people in Megadon trust Lord Megadon's assessment, which, by the way, great name, Lord Megadon, that Regesia is not really much of a threat. And that most people in Megadon bemoan that Steppengard has been raising taxes in order to, like, fund the war effort. And there's many that wish that Megadon, who is potentially next in line for the throne, although not Steppengard's like direct heir, was their king. So there's potentially some, I guess, treasonous thoughts going around that people are chatting about over fireplace beers and hot dogs and whatnot. But that's what you get as you travel through here. And as you continue further south on your way down, again, looking at the distance in miles, this trip has taken a couple weeks. Like even on horseback, you're traveling huge amounts of space, and it's taken time and a toll. And as you start to travel through Den, which is the area that you're in right now,
Fine.
um, it's relatively straightforward until anybody here wants to try to find food or shelter. And what you find is that food and lodging costs are costing double. So if it was like a couple silver when you were back up in um, move the map, god damn it, Brightstaff, right? Or even when you first came through it, Cornerwood, it's a couple gold a night just to sleep. And meals are costing, instead of like a couple copper, silver, gold to eat. Um, these double costs, everybody in Den see as just being normal. And you learn that Lady Den, who is friendly to Sequin, believes that price gouging of people traveling there is a fine way to fill her coffers for whatever needs that she might need, including her people's needs. Of all of Dassen, Lady Den's army is the weakest, and she feels that all of the refugees' goals are helping to fund mercenaries to fill out the ranks, just in case the Regessians. However, as you guys continue further south, you start to notice that along the sides of the Prince's Way, which is what you're still traveling on, shallow graves dot either side of the pathway. Refugees that either starved or died of malnourishment. Additionally, as you guys start the next push, heading further south to the last stop at the edge of the Sour Lake in a town called Vidor, the weather starts to worsen. Whereas before rainy days had continued, as travel further south, rains have become more constant and at times more dangerous, where you can't see the path in front of you, or you can't dry out for what seems like, instead of hours, days. Anytime you've had a chance to go into an inn or tavern, all looked forward to nights that allow you a chance to dry off and rest underneath unsoaked boards, roofs. But the cost is starting to get too dear. And I'm not going to have you mark off cost, but just know that there is a cost to travel. And then we'll show you where you're headed next. Boom. As you guys travel further south and make it to Vidor. Vidor is the last village before Sequin, and between Vidor and Sequin are several days of travel through rough, boggy terrain. Vidor itself is a small shanty town that lies on the edge of the Sour Lake Swamp. The Sour Lake Swamp is a 50-mile stretch of bayou that separates mainland Daisen from the rocky peninsula upon which Sequin is built. While you're in Vidor, getting ready for several days of travel, rough and boggy terrain, you guys probably want to stock up. And the locals do a good job of presenting the swamp ahead as dangerous, trying to convince anyone to buy what they need, however, at inflated prices. Most of the town is not most of the town are dishonest and out for their own good, but they are not lying about the swamp being dangerous. And so I want to throw some numbers in front of everybody, and I'll show you what is available by in Vidor. And I'm going to put it in Discord. Let's see if this works. There you go.
Oh, fuck you.
Again, I will tell you that you do not have to pay for your party members. But
All right,
I'm sorry,
gator
not your
tooth
party members.
necklace. Yeah,
The,
no,
the
I
gate.
know what you mean. The
All right.
extras.
Yeah, the gator tooth necklace is a local charm that is supposedly to give you a ward against the bad juju that's in the swamp.
Good thing this isn't Saturday.
Are you having a throwback to when Brian had his rant?
Yeah.
What was this? I missed it. Okay. How much do we have? So I have 3 third level spell slots. I have create food and water as a third level spell. Just so that we know that that's around and an option. That being said,
that's one of the reasons why I wasn't pushing too hard on food and water as you guys are traveling. I had looked at your character sheet and was like, they have means, they can do this.
yeah. All right, cool. But that being said, where did it go? We've
Tom,
got
question. Are there trees around the area where we could maybe cut off some pieces of branches and carve them into oars or poles, per se?
no.
No, you know what? That's a good question. It's a good question. I think
No.
that if
trees.
you want to do that, I would allow you to maybe try to make some like an effort. And I think it's Edema wood, but know that you might get harangued by locals who are doing this because they're locals and this is their livelihood, and also that may, if they see you doing this, that may affect the prices that people are willing to like charge you. So maybe you would want to, and you'd have to make like a crafting check or something along those lines.
Okay.
I'm not opposed to it. I'm just saying that maybe you would want to do that in tandem if you're actually buying boats. And as such, as you're kind of walking through this like shanty town, you pass by a workshop that is like hammering away at crafting rowboats, and this sort of like rotund human walks out, his skin like tanned, that sort of reddish brown of shoe leather, and he's just like, "Hey, free keg for every 3 boats you buy. Might want to buy 3 with all those people. I'm just saying. I'll even throw the beer in the keg for free."
It's a good deal.
Mm.
I'm not the face of this one, so
All right.
I am gonna influence, but I'm not.
I would.
I'm not the one making the
Yeah.
call on it
So
or the check.
I would try to see if I could haggle down the price a little bit, and see if maybe there's since he's making the boat, if we can, maybe assist him making it in order to lower the price as well.
So this guy, well, I'll tell you his name. His name is Leto, Leto Moore, Moore, Leto Moore. I know,
Mooring the
right?
boats.
A little too much on point, maybe, but Leto wants no help from you. Like, his staff is fine. In fact, he touts himself as the finest shipwright. Well, I guess boatwright of Vidor. He's like, if you go up the street, all you're gonna find out is that they're taking doors, old wooden doors, and nailing sides to it. You'll be
Funny,
in a
that's what they said about you.
He just laughs. He doesn't even do it. Doesn't even bother. But what I will allow is an influence check, which is either a deception or a persuasion. Um, and I will set the DC, but I'm going to let you know that it's a high DC because this is a racket this guy's been running as far as with everybody else in here. Wow. Holy fucking shit. Okay. So I set the DC at 18. The DC was 18. I'm not gonna lie. And you crush it. And he is willing to knock. It was a really good fucking roll.
Plus a
That was a real-
D4.
I mean,
Plus
yeah,
a-
plus a D4. Plus a D4.
Do it, Eric.
Jesus
Roll
I'll
Christ.
take
a
the D4.
4.
It is
You know
funny
what?
though because I
roll
rolled
a
an 18 on
4.
the die.
Roll a D4. Eric, roll a D4.
Get to 30. You son of a bitch.
You son of a bitch!
You.
Oh my god!
Fuck yes.
Okay, all right. So I didn't want to do this, but with that, I'm gonna give you a 50% discount on the price.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it's a fucking 30. I set the DC at 18. You've beaten it by 12. Like I gotta respect that. I gotta respect that. I don't want to at all, and he feels gross about this. He's like, I'm only getting double the normal money for boats selling them at this rate. But you just whatever it is, you schmooze your way into it, and I can only imagine that like obscurity is
He and Sylvanus go off for a bit.
Yeah, well, obscurity is just eyeing Sylvanus. Now I know why they keep this guy around. Oh, okay. It's like if anybody saw the Dungeons and Dragons movie,
Yeah.
when the druid is like, so we know the plan. Why are you still here? And he's like, I make other plans. Right, but now we know those plans too. He's like, I make plans. That's what I do.
You
So
just
Venice
make
is like,
shitty
I make
plans?
plans. I just talk to people. I initiate plans. I make more plans. I wasn't gonna give you 50% if you didn't hit 30, and then you hit 30. So yeah. That, however, is the only discount you're gonna get. I'm not going to allow other discounts to go in, so everything else is the same price that's
But
there.
what about the extra 10% on top of that for for
So
Dena
all
Day?
so to quote it, the boats plus the free tent that he offered,
He
and
didn't offer a tent. What the hell are you
he
talking
did offer
about?
a tent.
He entered a keg. He offered a free
Oh, a
keg.
keg of beer. Okay,
Keg for each boat
that's true.
with
Okay,
beer.
all right.
For
So we get,
hold on, a free keg for every 3 boats you buy.
but we need 3 anyways because of the amount of people, right?
hmm
Or only 2.
Well, you could get because you only have to buy them. You only have to buy 2.
Okay.
And because they're
You know,
reduced, that means you'd only spend 50 gold pieces, but you wouldn't get the keg. However, do me a favor and roll. I don't want to do this, but roll one more persuasion check. No
See,
guidance, no anything. Just
I'm
straight up.
glad I wasn't able to
Oh my
remember this
God.
because
So
I
Venice
wanted
is
to
so
ask
good at this.
about an alchemy jar. But
I
then
put
we
it
wouldn't
all
have
in
any
charisma.
we wouldn't have any money for this. So
So you will get, so you can buy 2 boats. Everybody
Okay.
can be in the 2 boats, and
Alright.
you will get a free keg of beer for that will go that is full of beer. Like he just like you can tell this man looks beaten, but for whatever it is that you're saying or doing, you have 100% gotten that. I will also say that the deer hide tents are a way to stop mosquitoes and other pesky things from biting you while asleep. However, only 2 people can go into a deer hide tent, so it's 2 per tent.
Okay. All right. So everything other than the boats is still normal price, correct?
Correct.
All right. So I would imagine what we should do is get uh 3 deer hide tents. I know that's 45 gold plus the 2 boats for 100 total. And then a map of the swamp and a few oars, unless the oars are with the boats. Because we're going to need oars.
hold on. Since you're in the shop,
Yep.
and maybe other people would see this as well, why don't we give a perception check for anybody who feels they're in the shop with?
Me included.
Yeah, you included. Man, so Venice, I'm on watch. I don't see anything. I need to convince somebody to do something. I'm crushing it. Obscure. Kane is staring at his
Kane
shoes
is
like
staring out the
these
door.
boots are so wet. They're still so wet. Um,
You said you
so
could fix that, but they're not dirty. They're just wet. You
so
have
Venice.
to make them wet. How are you keeping them clean? You're walking in mud, and they're still just clean.
So Venice, Nim, and Obscurity. You guys see because there's maybe like a wall of maps that you can grab for the swamp. The first thing that is clear on the maps, because they're actually like one side is the swamp, the other side is like greater Dason. Um, you guys see that you can now see all of Dason, so you get a good idea of what the country of Dason looks like. However, when you're kind of looking these over, the other thing you notice is that like the swamp maps are all generally the same, but there are variants between them.
Oh.
The only thing that's clear is that it's roughly 50 miles between here. I'm sorry, in the swamp, because one of the things that's listed is portage of a rowboat. And that's the
Mm.
15 miles between Vidor and the start of the swamp, the Sour Lake Swamp. So you guys can carry that if you want, or you can pay to have somebody do it for you if you're pretty enough and wealthy enough to do it.
Or I could levitate it.
I mean, like, I'm just saying, you guys are buying two boats that hold three people. These are large things. You could drag them, you could hook them up to your horses. I may make some checks to see how that goes, but also dragging them means they might get damaged on the road as you hit bumps and rocks and other things. You could carry them if you could levitate them. That's something to think about. Also, tents. So tell me what you're buying, what you're doing, and then we can go from there.
In that last wealthy town, Megadon, would I have been able to sell my sapphire there? Or no? It's not big enough.
You know what? Let's roll a 50-50. So just pick a die, pick a side on that die, like high or low. And if it comes up what you wanted, then yes, you sold.
All right, I'll pick low.
Okay. Roll that die, see what you get.
Nope.
All right. So I mean, you found some people that were close, but not full market value, and I assume that you're like, no thanks, I'm not doing it.
Yep.
Yeah. So you still got it.
Okay.
You do know that, and again, I'm not just baiting you with this. You will be able to sell that for full price in Sequent if you want to. So
Okay. Kevin, how are we on group funds? Are we able to buy everything we need?
actually, I'll take a quick pause to say this, or I'm going to pause for just a sec. Tell me what you guys are looking for and what you're working towards, and then like what you have, what you're buying, and then also if people want to make um, a gather information investigation check, you might be able to learn more about Vidor, the area as well. But that said, I'm going to take a quick bio break, and I'll be right back.
So what do we want to do?
I think exactly what we said. Map of the swamp, 2 rowboats. So I don't know if we're doing polls as in like 5 gold pieces for 1 oar, or is it 5 gold pieces for 2 oars? Because obviously you need 2 oars per
Yeah.
boat. I don't know what a portage of rowboats is. And we would need 3 deer hide tents.
Oh yeah, you were muted the whole time. Hmm.
Mhm.
So so yeah. So with the oars, what I'm wondering is if it's so I
Okay.
think we would need 3 oar slash poles per boat, and the reason being you have someone on the stern with a pole directing it, steering it, versus 2 people with oars in the middle actually rowing.
You mean along with so it's 15 gold per boat.
Okay. Oh, alright, yeah. Sorry, for a second I thought we had a group of 6,
So
so
if you want to put one of the NPCs in there, you just got to let me know, because for the next segment, I'm going to say that you guys are kind of the lead, the others are following through, and I'm much the same as we were discussing at the end of last session. Um, I I don't want to run a battle with all of the NPCs in it because it's a little bit too much. But I also don't want to make you guys have that like if you've ever played any Star Wars game where you have to play like the defender of like the refugees running somewhere and they always die and you lose a mission, I don't want to turn this game into that either. So
All right, so we're bringing HK-47 and uh, someone that can use the Force.
I mean, maybe you are. I don't know. I mean, you guys are gathering a group of people that like if you want to put one of the NPCs in one of the boats.
Yeah, I know that Tom will put HK-47 in here just to say meatbag 100 times, even if he's not like a killer. He'll just like.
I have had enough feedback.
And our
You-
favorite NPC is.
if there is a chance somewhere in this adventure that you meet a Warforged, it will 100% be that character. Just saying.
All right, looking forward.
All right, so you guys are buying rowboats at 50% discount. You guys are buying maps of the swamp, yes or no? You guys are
Yeah.
buying oars and poles, yes, and you guys are buying deer hide tents, and that is the extent of it, yes?
Yeah.
Mhm.
What's a portage? What is that?
So basically,
That's yeah.
good.
I was gonna say that's taking a canoe out of water and moving it across land to the next open body of
Oh,
water.
yes, yes, we're definitely
Wait. However, that is true. That is what portage is. But in this case, it
portage.
is taking the canoes Vidor to the start of the Sour Lake Swamp. So if you don't want to have to worry about carrying your 2 boats and damaging them on the way from Vidor to the start of the swamp, portage is that. That is that carrying.
That sounds like it's totally worth 55 gold piece.
And again, you only have to worry about the 2 what will cover the group. So
And yeah. I mean, I would still do 2 oars and a pole per boat, regardless of how many people are on there. 'Cause I know, Tom's definitely gonna try to have us lose a fucking oar somewhere along the line.
there is a part of me that really wishes I had another waiting to get in this game, and they could play an awakened Elasmosaurus or Plesiosaurus,
Yeah.
try to kill you right now. But we did that once. We don't have to do it again. So
That's
it is true. If it gets us another gen, maybe it's golden. Maybe it's great. Yeah. So fair. You might kill a few party members, but golden group. Wow. That's fair. All right.
That's a sacrifice Chris will have to make.
Mhm. Um, so what I will say is this is that so you guys have figured out what you're spending. Um, uh, you I guess I'll ask Kevin. Kevin, you have enough gold to cover this ask? You're good?
Yes, is the answer to that question.
Okay, so the answer is yes, but funds are real low. That okay.
Yes.
Well, think of it this way though. If but if so Venice was not so sexy, then it would have been far more. So there is that. Um,
Right. We would have we would have had to pay some.
I feel like this game would be a different game if the pirate crew had shown up in Vidor as opposed to your crew. Just saying. Um,
Mhm. They
um,
are different characters.
very different, yes. So I think the last thing that I would say is if anybody wants as all of these conversations and barterings and whatever are going on, you guys might want to roll some investigation checks to see if you can learn anything else about either Dason or the swamp or whatever. So, investigation checks to anybody who wants to make.
Ooh, investigation. I love me
Yeah.
some investigation.
Gotta love that sound. All right, so I see obscurity, I see Savanus, I see Turak, I see Nymph. 19, nice. Is that a 20 though? That turned into a 19? So because it's a 20, I will reveal everything because I feel I should. So, um, you guys kind of like yeah. Well, I mean, if it had been anybody else, great roll, but it's still a 20, so we'll do it. So, um, you guys have learned that there are lots and lots of refugees coming, lots of mages and spellcasters as well. Um, some of the folks in this town are actually really upset with the amount of black cats that have been coming with them that they feel are bad luck that's concentrating in their area and they just don't like it. Um, Anybody who can afford a boat already has already left. And recently there was some crazy redhead who hired like a couple jack dudes as bodyguards and just walked into the swamp without a boat. Um, Everybody's like, seems like they had a death wish. Too bad. She was pretty cute, but probably dead now. Moving on. Uh, Sometimes mages rejects from the wizard school gets lost in the swamp and go crazy and start eating people who get lost in the fog. So if you see lights at night, don't trust them. It might be some fucking cannibals. And then lastly, so find her, don't find her, or don't find them. And then lastly, and I'm going to give this because of Kane's 20. 2 weeks ago, this one this one person this one person who will name um Desmond Simpleton. Desmond Simpleton overheard a big overheard a big orc talking to a woman that stank of blood and sweat. Desmond swears she must have been a witch because sure as shit, the orc was one of those goddamn inquisitors from Jesse, and the few of the tents of the people camping out along the road went missing that night.
Dun, dun, dun.
So I'm hearing that there's some tents available.
Oh no, the tents and the people in them went missing that night.
Oh, motherfuckers.
So you guys have been collecting like information basically, and each of those were tidbits of information that you've collected. Um, Lots of people traveling through here. Uh, Bad luck because of the black cats. Also, some crazy hot redhead went into the forest, or not the forest, the swamp, with some orc bodyguards without a boat. She's probably dead. Next one was, or the next big one was that mages sometimes that are rejected sequin travel into the swamp and just go nuts and start eating people. And so don't get lost in the fog and watch out for stuff and things. And then 2 weeks ago, there was a big orc in town that was talking to a woman that stank of blood and sweat. This person, Desmond, assumes was a witch. And he's pretty sure that the orc was an inquisitor from Regesia. And that same night after he saw this, some of like the folks that have been camping out around town or working towards going towards Sequin went missing, and just for full collateral damage, so did their tents. Desmond says, "I don't know. I've never seen that person again. Just when you deal with the stank of the swamp, you deal with things the swamp demands. Those are smells that get associated with you." You know what? Let's do this. So, I mean, maybe you don't, but why don't we roll a wisdom check?
Everybody or just
Just
Nim?
Nim. Nim's trying
All
to
right.
put this together.
Oh, there you go.
So
Nice.
Nim, and you know what? Like I'd set this a generally high DC, but I feel you've gotten it. Um, as a former member of the Inquisition, the Jessian Inquisition, you know that the best way to take advantage of anything is to infiltrate quietly, find who has power in the, and get them to do what you need. I mean, maybe this orc was buying the witch's services, or she could get what she wants. What you know is Regesia has a population. You know that the Inquisitor, the Inquisition itself, has a number of orcs who count themselves as Inquisitors. As far as a big orc that dealt with a witch, that leaves you at a loss because, I mean, that could literally be any of the top 5 that are left. Or, well, I mean, you kind of killed one of them. 2 of them. 2 of them? 1 of them. So top 4 left. So, but if the idea of stemming the tide of spellcasters to Sequin from Regesia and Gate Pass, etc., would make sense to you, that Regesia would send someone or something or some group to make that happen here at the crossroads, as at the point that you almost reach Sequin. So that's what you're able to gather. And so the next day, I say you rest, you get a good night's sleep. Is there anything anybody else wants to do in Vidor to kind of take off? All right. Hearing nothing, I assume that you guys take off the next morning and start your adventure. As you set out and you did spend the money for the folks to carry the rowboats for you, correct? Okay. As you set out the road towards the Sour Lake Swamp is fairly tame. The path is about 5 feet wide, shored up in places with small stone bridges where the ground dips into the water. At any point along this path, if you go more than 20 feet off either side, you will land in knee-deep muck. And after 15 miles of this, you come to a rundown shack that sits at the side of the road. Once maybe a hunting camp or a place for travelers to sleep in, this hut now serves as a marker at the end of the. Nearby trees have been cleared, and there are a few abandoned half-made rafts that litter the area, each of them slowly sinking into the murky depths of the swamp around you. The folks who had been carrying your boats basically shoulder them and throw them down. All right, we're done. And they take off back to town. Beyond this point, travel will have to be by boat or by wading and swimming. The water generally is waist high and, for lack of a better word, icky. Though the water itself poses no direct hazard, it is still gross. If the group takes a boat, poling or rowing is a move action that propels the boat 20 feet forwards. A character can move the boat at double speed as a full round action, but doing so is tiring and will start to bring levels of exhaustion. If you have enough oars, which I think you do, to have double rowing, that effect will take much longer to set in. Boats fill the same space as creatures and can hold 3 people and their gear. The 30-some mile trip through the swamp should take, hopefully, 2 days. And as you guys start off at this pier, get into your boats and start to row into the swamps, do a couple things. The first is to stop this music and start this music. As you guys begin to push your way through the swamp on this 30-mile slog trip, the only relief being that the rains that had been worsening seem to somehow lessen in the swamp. You guys press through. paddling through as strange sounds happen around you. And after a full day rowing and poling and moving, you guys come to what seems like a decent place to rest. A soggy island that has some dry land. And you guys see this. Let me make sure I get this up for you.
I may have to jump off
You son of a bitch.
to get to bed.
Well, so I'll tell you what. You guys come to a soggy island that you are able to take rest at. And as you set up camp and get ready for the night, you set up your watches. People go to sleep. They go into their deer hide tents. And
We
who's
cast
taking
darkness.
and who's taking first? So nobody can see. Who's taking first watch?
Uh,
Remember, dark vision does not allow you to see us. Just saying.
I'll take first watch.
I'll take that with him.
Everybody goes to sleep. So Venice and your new friend stay up. And as your first watch starts to creep towards an end, roll me some perception checks.
Yeah. I see everything.
So Venice is on point. Obscurity, not a bad roll. However, it's only Sylvanus that sees lights glimmering on the water, coming towards where you're staying. And you can hear, because of your check, this group of people with voices that are alto, maybe is the best way to describe them, singing magical, magical, the water, magical water. And as the lights start to get a little closer, and you start to see that it's a boat with two people poling towards you, I think I'm going to need some checks. But I think we'll wait till next week to make those checks happen.
AKA, I'm rolling too high, and maybe a week will put me on on ice.
No, I don't want to start this right now
Yeah,
and
I
not
gotcha.
have that. So yeah, but yeah, so good stuff, everybody. You've made it through, almost made it through Dason to Sequin. You found out a bunch of weird and interesting and maybe at some point relevant information. And here you are now in the Sour Swamp, and we'll see what happens. So I hope folks are having fun. Thanks for coming in, and we'll see you next week.
Cool.
Have a good night.
All right.
Later.